I figure if you don't ask, you don't get.
Right.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yes, good idea.
That's all right.
Kathy has right here. You can have it. Oh, we're almost there. Good morning. Oh, and welcome to Sunday morning at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Venice, also called UCOV. My name's Eileen Leapley. I'm your worship associate for this morning. Once or twice a year, we conduct our service here at Maxine Barritt Park. Thanks to the valiant efforts of one of our very special members, Maxine Barritt, who some of you may have known. A congregation of curious, caring people. Our faith is not creedal, but covenant, and we are guided by 7 principles. If you'd like to know more about UCOV and its many opportunities for learning, growth, and connection, you can check out our calendar and announcements on Facebook or on our webpage at uucov.org. Or you can talk with our interim minister, Reverend Amy Petrie-Shaw, after the service. We do have a couple of new people here at UCOV, which I was so pleasantly surprised since this is not our usual venue. If you are feeling comfortable enough to stand, we'd love to hear your name and where you're from, and we'd love to welcome you. But you don't have to, but you can. There we go. There's 2 lovely people there. That is John and Cindy over there, and they live in Venice, and they found us on our web page, which we're very excited about. And we have 2 other, there we go. Oh, good. Tell us if we can hear. I don't think we have a mic to rove around. Oh, we do. We're going to get a mic.
I don't need it.
Oh, you don't? Oh, that's great.
Kathy and Diane, and we have been before years ago, and we were looking for a time to come, and serendipity this year, 2 minutes from the house.
Wow.
And I always call it God's first church. So please, and thank you so much. People have been already warm and welcoming.
Oh, well, we are so glad you're here. Thank you. So we have a couple of announcements. Oh, I'm sorry. We have other people? Oh, I'm sorry. Hi.
Found you on the website too, Charlene and Howard Lincoln, and we live in the Colony.
Welcome. Thank you. And I hope everyone keeps coming when we're back in our good old ordinary building, because that one is really fun too. Okay, so we have our couple of announcements. One is Tuesday, April 25th at 1 p.m. We have Mahjong. Ellen Higdon is going to do that again in Waters Hall, I believe. So make sure you go if you're brand new to Mahjong or if you're a veteran. It's a fun time. Monday, May 1st, which is a week from tomorrow, I guess. Meatless Monday, 5 p.m. at Waters Hall. Bring a meatless dish and service, a plate setting, and that is always a fun time. Something brand new that Kathy Avery is starting Tuesday, May 15th. We're going to have games and lunch at 1 p.m. And you'll hear about that more before the 15th, so don't worry. I think I lost my this thing, but anyway. Okay, so now we are entering a sacred space, so please silence your electronic devices, and our service will begin after the prelude. I'm lighting a metaphorical chalice today because of the breezes. This chalice lighting is by Laura Horton Ludwig. Fire and water, ancient opposites. Sun and ocean, the cradle of life. Dancing flame and dancing river. We invoke them together today as we kindle our chalice flame.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am so glad to see this many faces out here in this great space. For those of you who don't know me yet, I am Reverend Amy Petrie Shaw. My usual pronouns are she or they. And once again, welcome, welcome, welcome. We come here together from the ebb and flow of our lives, thirsty for connection to ourselves, to others, thirsty for connection to larger life. And we come here together also to be filled with the joy and the hope, filled with compassion and love. We come to be filled so that we can pour ourselves out into the world. And some of you have found that the waters of your life have washed you into this community over and over. And some are swimming in the pool for the very first time. But no matter where you've been, and no matter if the water that you have swum in to get here is dirty or clean, salty or sweet, pour it out here. And then drink deeply until you are full and filled and your heart is at peace. Come and let us worship here together. And more this week than any week, take a minute to say hello to the people around you or to introduce yourself to someone next to you. Please rise in body or spirit if you feel like it, and join in singing our opening hymn, number 347, Gather the Spirit. You've got the words on your yellow sheet. This is our children's chapel time, the time when we explain to the youngest among us or following along at home exactly what it is the grown-ups are going to be talking about later. And today, as some of you may know, is the day after Earth Day. This is as close as we could get to it. So we are talking about our planet and our relationship to it, because a lot of times no one tells us how to talk about that or even gives us ideas on how to talk about that. It's just the big round thing you're standing on. So we're going to be talking about what does it mean to be in a relationship with our planet, to have it be part of our life, and to be something that we are deliberate about how we treat it, just like how we would treat another person. So we are going to sing the kids out today to go play and enjoy the space and do some learning. I ask you all to join me in singing them out with the Reeb Children's Benediction. I don't believe, are we passing an offering plate today? Okay, we are. Giving is a sacred practice, and generosity is something we hold dear. We pass the plate not to make a lot of money. I want to stress that. We pass it just to remind ourselves that we're part of a giving ritual. So if you give a penny, give $1, or just touch the plate and pass it on, it's a reminder. The generosity of spirit and heart matters. But our offering words are always offered with levity because giving should not hurt. 2 Unitarian Universalists went on a cruise, and our 2 Unitarian Universalists were from different churches, but they met on the ship, and there was a terrible storm, and they were thrown overboard. The sea tossed them for miles, but at last they managed to swim to a deserted island. And one of the men began to pace in big circles. He said, "There's no food here. There's no water. We're going to die." "No problem," said the other man. "My minister will find us." "No one knows where we are," said the first man. "My minister will find us," said the second. "What's wrong with you?" said the first man. "The storm carried us out into the middle of nowhere. There's no food, there's no water, there's no magical God that's going to save us." Second man said, "Look, I make $100,000 a month as a stockbroker. I put 3,000 of it in the offering plate every week. Trust me, my minister will find us." Rest assured that I will find you no matter where you are. The morning offering will now be given and gratefully received. Oh. Give us one round. Thank you all so much for everything you do for this community on a weekly basis. You all are amazing. Our church isn't about the building. The building is the least important thing among us. What's important is our community of human hands and human hearts holding on to one another, being there to witness and stand with each other in the good times and the bad. We're entering into a time of sharing joys and concerns. You can raise a hand. Someone will bring you a microphone. Please share briefly and only stories which are yours to tell. So if there's anyone who has a joy or concern they'd like to share today, please get a hand up.
Eddie is going to come to the rescue.
I'm sorry.
Check, check, check.
You are magical. Okay, was that you, Cindy?
Thank you. I'm Cindy Bauman at UU, recently new member with my husband. And today I have both a sorrow and a celebration. My dear friend, Marion Balster, died on Good Friday. And I had the honor, as requested by her husband, to speak at her memorial service this past week, which I did. And the celebration is that Marion, with her husband, but basically it was her project, put together a support group for parents who've experienced the death of a child of any age and any cause, called the Compassionate Friends, which started in England, but they pursued and got it going in this country. Today there are over, it's 50 years ago, but there are over 600 working chapters, either 500 in-person groups and more than 100 using technology and Zoom, etc. So for me, it's a celebration and a sorrow, and thank you for hearing it.
I'm Donna Jewett. They call me Mother Earth's apprentice. And Earth Day is my favorite day. And I just wanted to announce that we now are getting the Garden of Eating, get that? Behind Astor Linder. And we've started to plant papaya and a whole bunch of things. And we have the wonderful compost that we've all been working on, which has helped to revive our pollinating garden. So you'll get to see that. Butterflies and all things flying around, and it just feels so good to get my hands back into the earth and to see what we can do to make this a more viable earth, because we all need to do our part, and I thank you all for helping with that. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm back. I was lying in bed about 4 o'clock this morning, not able to really sleep because I wasn't sure how this was all going to work out today. But I shouldn't have been, because when I got here at 20 after 8, practically everything was already set up by that gentleman back there, our friend Eddie. And I celebrate his being with us every week. Thank you, Eddie.
I would just like to say, for those of us that remember Maxine Barritt and what a wonderful job she did to organize and create a momentum and public support for this park. It's a wonderful thing, and she was a wonderful person.
I want to acknowledge Maxine Barritt. The day before she died, I wasn't well, and she brought me food to my house, and the next day she passed away.
Sal, thanks for saying that.
I wanted to say that I'm so sad at what's going to happen to our rookery here. And I hope this fabulous congregation on this Earth Day weekend will find a way to help stop some of that over there and save it.
So,
over there.
Everybody gets braver.
Hello, I'm Judith Parker. Those of you that know me know that I've gone through a saga with my brother over the last several years with his nearly dying and being in renal failure. and then having to be put in memory care, and then having recovered because they realized he needed insulin. Anyway, yesterday I had him out for a birthday celebration. We went to a concert and out to dinner, and to see him laughing and just enjoying life after this saga, it just made my heart so glad.
May the love of this community hold everyone who needs love and concern, and may the light of our community shine on the broken places of the world. May the work of our hands and our hearts support, aid, and comfort all those who hunger or thirst for food or water, justice or freedom. May we never look away when we're needed. May the grieving be comforted. May those who are tired find rest. May the broken places be healed, and may those who are filled with joy and laughter be abundant.
Our first reading is from the writings of astronauts Charles Walker, Edgar Mitchell, and Prince Sultan bin Salman Al Saud, who, by the way, flew on the American Space Shuttle Discovery in 1985. My first view, a panorama of brilliant, deep blue ocean, shot with shades of green and gray and white, was of atolls and clouds. Close to the window, I could see that this Pacific scene in motion was rimmed by the great curved limb of the earth. It had a thin halo of blue, held close, and beyond, black space. I held my breath, but something was missing. I felt strangely unfulfilled. Here was a tremendous visual spectacle, but viewed in silence. There was no grand musical accompaniment, no triumphant inspired sonata or symphony. Each one of us must write the music of this sphere for ourselves. Charles Walker. Suddenly, from behind the rim of the moon, in long, slow motion, moments of immense majesty, there emerges a sparkling blue and white jewel, a light, delicate, sky blue sphere laced with slowly swirling veils of white, rising gradually like a small pearl in a thick sea of black mystery. It takes more than a moment to fully realize this is Earth, home. My view of our planet was a glimpse of divinity. Edgar Mitchell. The first day, we all pointed to our own countries. The third and fourth day, we were pointing to our continents. By the fifth day, we were aware of only one Earth, Prince Sultan bin Salman Al Saud. As we prepare for a moment of thought, meditation, or prayer, I would like to read to you this prayer of commitment created by the UN Sabbath program. We join with the earth and with each other to bring new life to the land, to restore the water, to refresh the air. We join with the earth and with each other to celebrate the seas, to rejoice in the sunlight, to sing the song of the stars. We join with the earth and with each other to recreate the human community, to promote justice and peace, to remember our children. We join with the earth and with each other we join together as many diverse expressions of one loving mystery for the healing of the earth and the renewal of all life. Please join me in 1 minute of silent meditation, thought, or prayer. Our second reading is from the Journals of Ralph Waldo Emerson. I live so much in my habitual thoughts that I forget there is any outside to the globe, and am surprised when I behold it as now. Yonder hills and river in the moonlight. What are these rivers and hills, these hieroglyphics, which my eyes behold? There is something invigorating in this air, which I am peculiarly sensible is a real wind blowing from over the surface of a planet. I come to my window and I feel and breathe the fresh air. It is a fact equally inward experience. Please rise in body or spirit as you are willing and join us. Spirit of life. We're going to sing it twice.
Many of you will know these words. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean that I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. In 2002, Unitarian Universalist folk musician Peter Mayer wrote those words. It was a new set of words to a hymn we already had by Roland Hugh Pritchard, and he called it Blue Boat Home. And we stand and sit here today, one day after Earth Day 2023, and we are the ship's companions of that song, the kindred pilgrim souls, on our very own beautiful blue boat home. And I love the fact that when Peter wrote this song, he chose the word boat. Boat, not ship. A ship for me is something big, solid, ocean liner, cruise ship. A boat is smaller, fragile. It's a thing that requires almost constant attention for any of you who have ever been out on a boat as opposed to a ship. We grab the oars and we sit shoulder to shoulder, and we always risk tipping over. As some of you may know, a boat can be a hazardous place if someone decides to be a clown. Boats can sink. And if we want to steer our boat, our planet, through the sea of the universe, we have to sail a little responsibly. We can't be the clowns standing up and rocking the boat. We have to bail the boat before it sinks under us. In 1859, Henry David Thoreau wrote in his journal, What we call wilderness is just a civilization other than our own. In his classic book, Walden, he talked about the ties between the people and nature. And he said, our village life would stagnate if it were not for the unexplored forests and the meadows which surround it. We need the tonic of wildness, to wade sometimes in the marshes where the bittern and the meadowhen lurk, to hear the booming of the snipe, to smell the whispering sedge, where only some wilder and more solitary fowl builds her nest, and the mink crawls with its belly close to the ground. Nobody paid a lot of attention to Thoreau during his lifetime. He is now praised as one of the nation's most powerful voices for the environment. In wildness is the preservation of the world, he wrote. And his writing helped shape the thinking of modern-day environmentalists. He was a naturalist and a social reformer, a poet, a philosopher, a transcendentalist, and a friend of Unitarian William Ellery Channing. Looking at a river, he found the flow of eternity. Climbing a mountain, he found that his spirit moved closer to the divine as he understood it. I believe in the forest and in the meadow and in the night in which the corn grows. He said, heaven is under our feet as well as over our heads. Now, as a high school student, I remember reading Thoreau. A teacher held my arm behind my back and made me do it. And as I recall, my honest response at the time was, yeah, cool, what's for lunch? It didn't move me a lot. For any of you who've seen the cartoon South Park and heard Eric Cartman, this was tree-hugging hippie stuff, and it just didn't move me. And then when I was a little older, I went down to central Kentucky to Lake Cumberland, and it was the first time I had seen water so clear that you could look down 16 or 20 feet and see the fish. It was the most amazing thing my little brain had ever seen. I went from there to eastern Kentucky to work on a mountain near Red River Gorge, and I could actually drink water that came out of the ground, right there in a stream. I went cave diving, I tried rock climbing, I stopped to smell the woods. I learned that if you smelled cucumbers, there might be snakes. And what acres of honeysuckle smelt like, not one bush, but an entire meadow. And I went back and I reread Thoreau. Now, you don't have to travel far from here to get to the good stuff. I drove 3 hours as a kid to get to central Kentucky. We don't have to drive that far. The blue-green swell of ocean water as a storm gets close. The smell of the ground after that rainfall. The lushness of the Everglades. Wild spaces, pure spaces, some of them within, well, touching distance almost. They call to something deep inside. You don't have to be Thoreau or believe in the supernatural to see the sacred in every sunrise over a foggy beach. Something in nature calls us to transcend ourselves, to step out of isolation, to take our place in something larger. So what is that larger? What's the planet to us? The earth is not just the scenery, nor is it flat, in case anyone is wondering. Right now, the planet isn't always feeling so well. The waters around Greece are still beautiful and pure. In Alberta, the mountains still reach up to the heavens. But in the North Pacific Ocean, we have a floating mass of plastic garbage, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. NOAA's Marine Debris Program can't accurately estimate it, but general estimates say it's the size of Texas. 80% of the plastics in the patch have been washed from land. Amazon rainforest, the lungs of our planet, once covered 14% of the land mass, now they cover less than 1%. Rainforest, planet-wide, still cover about 6%. Whole planet's heating up. The ice caps are melting. There are lots of similar stories. We know our blue boat is getting battered. We're not bailing fast enough, so what do? We start simply by changing the lens we look through. What do I mean by that? We work with our planet as a living piece of the web of life, rather than just something big and round we stand on. We change the way we think about the boat. This isn't always easy because no matter where you go on our planet, you know the written and unwritten rules for interacting with people and animals. Do unto others, don't kill, don't steal, don't randomly hit people, don't eat with your feet. You know these. Dogs and cats are for petting, fish are not for petting. Please don't eat the daisies. You've gotten these rules just by living in your culture. And religion after religion tells us, here's how you should be, here's how you should act. Just by being here, we get the rules. Doesn't mean we all agree, but we get a rough shape. If I asked any 10 of you, hey, I drove by a woman on the side of the road this morning, she was broken down. What should I have done? I would have gotten 10 different answers. Somebody would have said you should have stopped. Somebody would have said pull over, call 911. You know what I mean. You would have gotten different answers. But nobody would have said hit her in the face with a cream pie and laugh. We know the rules. You might have even gotten somebody that said I shouldn't have done anything. Leave her alone. But there would be some expectation of either neutral or positive behavior, right? Not a negative behavior toward her. I won't hurt her because she's standing there. Nobody tells you what's your relationship to the planet. You and the planet. You personally, not you in some club or you in some religion. We don't talk about it. At most, you might say, what do you mean I have a relationship to the planet? That sounds weird. But a few years ago in the 70s, and some of you may have remembered this from the time, a chemist named James Lovelock and a microbiologist, Lynn Margulies, they introduced something that came to be known as the Gaia theory, that it's all part of one organism. The web is real, the web of life. It's all part of one thing. Our planet and all the things on it are one system. And each of us gets to decide how to be in right relation with the planet and the inhabitants, the boat and the rowers. We get to determine how much to bail as long as we realize the bailing has to happen. If we're not willing to do it, the system will keep being damaged and the boat really may tip us out or sink. Global warming is real, climate change is real, overuse of fossil fuels, they're all real. But so is hope. Hope is real. Change can be real. We can come up with a lot of good choices. Increase our recycling, turn off more lights, lower the heat, raise the air conditioning. We can buy a Prius or ride a bike. We can walk more, throw away less, eat more locally, and we can talk and talk and talk and talk. We can remind people over and over and over, we got to do better. That is not a worthless thing. Just reminding people over and over, please put your pop can in the recycling bin. We can transform our understanding of the planet. We can recognize it for being a living thing. We can live our values, maybe even sacrifice a little convenience. We can pick up our buckets and bail really hard. To paraphrase Peter Mayer, we can give thanks to the waves upholding us, and hail the great winds urging us on, greet the infinite sea before us, sing the sky our sailor's song, the wide universe is the ocean we travel. So welcome to your blue boat home. Amen. We extinguish the non-existent flame of our metaphorical chalice, and we know that the light of truth and love and the warmth of this community will go with us until we meet again. Please rise and body your spirit as you're willing and join in singing our closing hymn this week, number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth, verses 1, 2, and 3. Life and love, Spirit of humanity, we thank you for this day and this world. May we go boldly along our journey, adventuring through bright and beautiful, dark and wild. And in our travels, may we learn to live kindly with our planet and one another, working earnestly, loving honestly, and laughing together. Peace, ashe, and may it be so. We're going to sing the postlude through twice. Amen.